Frank Wouters heads up the EU GCC Clean Energy Network, and we're delighted to have him here to talk to us just about how important that is. We're here also at the IEF, the International Energy Forum, talking about this with the EU-IEF Dialogue. How important is it that this dialogue actually expands, and the fact that it is taking place?
It's very important. The new European Commission is embarking on a very ambitious project, which is called the European Green Deal, which aims to be, Europe to be climate neutral by 2050. And even though it sounds like a climate and energy policy, it's actually not. It's a lot more than that. It's a growth strategy, and it touches upon all aspects of the European economy. And it's also not the case that Europe can do everything on its own. We need partners. There is going to be still import of also green types of energy in the future. And one of the regions that Europe has interest in continue to work together with is for example, in the Gulf. You know, the traditional producers of hydrocarbons are also very well positioned to produce the fuels of the future through low-cost solar and wind energy that you can turn into hydrogen and potentially synthetic fuels for aviation. And this forum, which is the fourth event that has been taking place at the International Energy Forum in Riyadh, the EU Energy Day, is a great platform to debate these topics and basically move on a common agenda.
When we look at the Green Deal, really, this is something that in a way everybody should be embracing. It's not just a European initiative, and even if it is, it's probably served maybe as something that everyone else should look at and look to see what everybody can do, because this is the way we all have to move.
I think I agree to that. I mean, in the end, the problem is a global one, and it cannot be solved by a specific region or a country. We all have to do our bit. And part of what the new European Commission is also doing is taking this abroad. So there is an element of diplomacy around the Green Deal, in actually engaging in a dialogue with people all around the globe to see how we can move together on this topic.
Now, of course, everyone talks about the energy transition, and it can be short, it can be long. Nobody really knows how long this is going to take. But again, to make sure that everybody is involved, and also you encourage that we're seeing more of the oil and gas companies really taking this very seriously and taking action to make sure that they're now part of the solution.
No, absolutely. And I mean, if I look at this region and if I look at, some of the things that, the likes of Aramco, ADNOC and others are undertaking in also exploring different fuels of the future that do not necessarily have the carbon footprint that we have now, that also provides an economic opportunity for them in future energy markets, which will demand lower carbon fuels. And again, the region is blessed with low-cost hydrocarbons, but it's equally blessed with low-cost renewable power, which can make these fuels.
And of course, the investment opportunity is definitely there too. We look at the long-term demand, and we look at some of the very successful companies that are already moving into this space. So it's something I think investors should be really paying attention to. But also, I suppose, policymakers have to be a lot clearer in the future, the way the investment community is feeling a lot more secure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so policy and market and investments go hand in hand. I think it's important to provide a policy framework that provides stability and long-term views on where markets are going, because nobody's going to make the billions of investments in facilities unless they know there is an offtake. And this is very, very important. But the price is massive. If I look at some of the predictions, for example, for green hydrogen or blue hydrogen, there is estimations that can be in a couple of decades $2.7 trillion, which is bigger than the entire oil and gas sector right now combined. Again, huge opportunity.
And finally, just talk to me, the role of the IEF. How can the International Energy Forum, be strengthened and be a more serious and a more relevant player in the energy transition?
Well, I mean, it's a platform. So the IEF, has convening power. It can bring people together from, both the public and the private sector, and it can provide guidance in terms of, being a source of high quality, up to date information. But the platform function is bringing people together to debate, sensible ways forward is very, very crucial.